So I'm going to show you 7 different ways you can make money from one book on Amazon. So the number one way to sell your book on Amazon is selling it as a paperback. This is the most competitive market of them all because in paperback market, everybody is there. So how do you stand out? Because if you don't stand out, you're not going to make a lot of money. Listen very well. The most important thing you need to do when you are selling your book as a paperback is try as much as possible to get the bestseller badge. If you can get the bestseller badge in the category that your book is in, your book is going to stand out. Look at any niche on Amazon. Whenever there is a bestseller badge on a particular book, that book gets the attention of customers, and that is what you want to do from the inception of your book. Plan to get a bestseller badge, and getting a bestseller badge is not very difficult. A lot of people think that is difficult, but it's not very difficult. If you calculate it very well, you're going to easily get a bestseller badge. Personally, that's what I always try to do. I want to make sure that if I'm not going to get a bestseller badge in this particular niche, I should not go into that niche because there's no way for me to stand out at all. The books with the bestseller badge get 80% of the sales. That's why you want to try as much as possible to get a bestseller badge in any category you are in on Amazon. So how do you actually get a bestseller badge? Now, bestseller badge is calculated by Amazon in 2 basic ways. First, it's calculated based on session time on product pages. So let me explain it to you so that you can understand. Now, on Amazon, there's something called product page and there's something called search page. Search page is the part where somebody goes, click on the search bar and results come out. But when somebody now clicks on the particular product, which is in this case your book, the amount of time people spend looking through your particular product, the cover, the price, the description, the A+ content, the reviews and all those things, the time people actually spend on it is called session time. So what Amazon does is that Amazon records the session time of your particular book. Then the other thing that they also combine in order for them to give your book a bestseller is your sales velocity. What is sales velocity? Sales velocity is the number of sales you make within a particular period of time, and in this case within a particular hour. When Amazon combines the amount of time people spend on your product page and also the amount of sales you make in a particular hour, that is now going to determine if you are going to get a bestseller badge in that particular category. So the book that has the highest session time and the highest sales velocity over a period of 1 hour gets the bestseller badge. That is where you want to be, and that is the key that unlocks a lot of sales for you when it comes to your paperback category. So make sure that whatever you do on Amazon, try as much as possible to get the bestseller badge for your paperback. That is how you are going to win. If you are not getting the bestseller badge, you are going to be getting very low amount of sales. So your bestseller badge is the most important thing when you are selling paperback. If you want me to make a video on teaching you how to get a bestseller badge for any book whatsoever on Amazon, let me know in the comment section. The best way to sell your book on Amazon is selling your book as an ebook. The only disadvantage of this particular way is that you cannot sell all books as ebooks. There are only certain books you can sell as ebooks, unlike the paperback option. However, if you are doing a book that you can sell as an ebook, the most important thing you should be focusing on so that you can get sales is reviews. Reviews is the most important thing that powers the sales of an ebook. Get as much reviews as you can. If an ebook on Amazon has 10 reviews, another ebook on Amazon has 3,000 reviews, people are going to choose the one that has 3,000 reviews over the one that has 10 reviews. So what you want to focus on when you are selling your book as an ebook is generating as much reviews as you can, because the more reviews you have on your book, the more people are saying good things about your book, the more your book starts selling very well for you on Amazon, especially if it's an ebook. So what you want to do from day one is to start generating reviews. I have made a video about how you can generate reviews for your book on Amazon. So if you want to know how to do that, I'll leave a link in the description. You can just go and watch it. And the next thing you want to also focus on when you want to sell your ebook very well is the demand for that particular book. Most ebooks are priced less than $10. So price is not an advantage for you in this particular point. So what you want to do is that make sure you do your niche you set properly so that you know that this niche has a lot of demand. How do you determine demand? First, you check the search volume. Second, you check the search result. And thirdly, also check the bestseller rank of the 10 best books in that category. These are the 3 ways you are going to use to check the demand, if there's a demand in that particular niche. And if there's a demand in that particular niche, pump your reviews. Try as much as possible to be the book in that particular niche that has the most reviews. Those kind of books actually sell better than the ones that don't have the most reviews. The next way you can sell your book on Amazon and make a lot of money from it, which all books can actually fall into this category, is selling your book as a hardback copy. Now, a lot of people don't do hardback copies, and that is one of the reasons reasons why you should be selling your book as a hardback copy. Hardback copies actually do extremely well only in certain circumstances. Number one, if you want to sell your book as a hardback copy, you have to focus on, first of all, if there is nobody in that particular niche that has a hardback book, do a hardback book. Obviously, everybody doesn't want a hardback book because it is expensive. However, there are people in your niche that will prefer to have that book last longer for them than to just buy an ebook that they'll put in a digital format or buy a paperback that can actually get torn easily. So they'll just prefer to say, okay, let me get a hardback book that will last over a long period of time. If people in your niche are already selling as hardback books, then one of the ways you can actually compete favorably and win in the hardback market is price. Your price has to be competitive. Personally, the strategy I go with is that, so if my competitors are pricing their hardback book at $29.99, for example, I'll prefer to price my book at $27.99. Now the difference is $2, but that $2 difference can actually get a lot of attention to your book because people that buy hardback want to get the best deal as they possibly can. So what I would suggest is that make your price very competitive, but this is not the same strategy that will work for paperback. Paperback, I prefer to price my book higher, but when it comes to hardback, I actually prefer to price my book a bit lower compared to my competitors. The only time I'm going to allow my price to be high is when there's no other book in that particular niche that is selling a hardback copy. The next way you can actually make money from Amazon is by enrolling your book into Kindle Select. One of the things about Kindle Select is actually like a free 90-day program to promote your book on Amazon. But when you enroll your book into Kindle Select, what happens is that your book is automatically uploaded into Kindle Unlimited. And Kindle Unlimited actually offers readers opportunity to read books while you, who is the author, actually gets paid per page that is read. So what you want to do, especially those of you that are doing series, it's a very good way to actually make money from Amazon. Amazon pays you about $0.005 per page read. So if you have like 10,000 pages read, you're going to make like $50. If you have like 100,000 pages read, you're going to make like $500. Now, the key to actually making so much money from this niche is the quality of your writing style. If you're somebody that knows how to write very well to get people intrigued and glued into what you're writing, that is the secret to making a lot of money from this particular method. If you are not a writer and you outsource your writings to ghostwriters, you must make sure that these ghostwriters write so well that it gets people glued to that particular book. And if you're also into the non-fiction, maybe self-improvement book, make sure that the content in the book are very, very interesting so that people keep reading, because the more they read, the more money you make. The next way for you to sell a book on Amazon and make a lot of money from it is by translating your book. I have talked about this over and over and again, but some people are still not going to do it. I really don't know why. 40% of my revenue on Amazon comes from translated books. There's a lot of markets there. There's the French market, there's the German market, there's the Spanish market, there's the Italian market, there's even the Japanese market. But personally, I prefer to stay within these four markets. However, there are other markets that you can sell your books in, but these ones are the ones I focus on. It is completely free to translate your book. I already made a video on how to translate your book. I'll leave the link in the description. If you don't know how to translate your book, you can just go to the video, watch it so that you can learn how to translate your book. It's a step-by-step video. The secret to making money from translating your book is because there's very low competition and there's high demand in this particular market, especially for those niches that are very competitive on the English market like Amazon.com, the UK market. These markets are very competitive. But if you take that same book and go to the French market, now you see that there are not so many books that are there. Even if there are some books there that are making money, if you put your own book there, you can also make money from it because the market is huge enough for people to buy. So try as much as possible to translate your books into other markets so that you can make money from it. In less than 2 hours, you can get your book translated, uploaded, and let your book make money for you. The next way you can actually sell your book on Amazon and make money from it is by selling it as an audiobook. This is very, very important. A lot of people miss out on selling books on audiobook. However, because they think it is actually very hard to do so, you can actually use AI for free on ACX. It is not difficult. Only that you have to indicate that this is by AI. That's all. However, make sure that the voice that you are using is humanized. Take your time to make sure that the targeted audience that you are reaching, they can actually understand what the AI is saying. So there are many different AI voices available online that you can actually use. Most of them are even free. You can use them and turn your books into audiobooks on ACX and you start making good money from it. Even currently now, Amazon is even working on a beta version where you don't even need to use ACX anymore. You can book directly from KDP. So very soon it's going to be open to everybody to use, and that is going to be purely based on AI. Another beautiful thing about audiobooks is that you can also translate audiobooks into other language, right? And still get money from them. That is a big market for you to enter. So if you are not doing that, especially if you're in the fiction and the non-fiction market, if you are not doing that, please and please make sure you get your book on ACX and quickly start making money from them. The other way you can make money from your book on Amazon is by selling companion books. What are companion books? Companion books are books that go along with your main book. I'll give give several examples so that you can understand what a companion book is, because a lot of people don't understand what companion books are. So for example, if you sell cookbooks, you can actually have a recipe journal that goes along with it as a companion book. If you are into the self-help niche, you can actually have a workbook that goes along as a productivity journal. That is a way for you to make extra income off the original book that you already have. So when the original book that you already have is doing well, you can actually take from that particular book and get people to buy the other companion book so that people can enjoy the benefits of that book that I have made to the fullest. If you have not already subscribed to this channel, hit the subscribe button right now. It's one thing to get your book in different formats on Amazon, and it's another thing for you to start generating massive sales from them. One of the biggest mistakes people make on Amazon is thinking that immediately their book go live, they are going to start making money from it. But that is not true. Immediately your books go live on Amazon, it is not enough to just have them live. There are 11 things you must do in order for you to be getting a lot of sales. And in this video, I show you exactly those 11 things that you can actually start doing immediately your book goes live so that you can make a lot of money from it.